And it's a completely different approach you've got to have. You can't, restaurant chefs would normally struggle once you go into bigger numbers to deliver that same experience. Quality-wise, speed-wise, being able to deliver it while you've got a restaurant running as well, so you don't upset your other customers. Yeah. So it's a bit of an art, and so most restaurants don't have space to be able to look after events. So you need to buy, there's equipment you need to buy to be able to deliver that as well. Yeah. And but most importantly, a mindset. So chefs say that they don't like to do more than 2 or 4 people at a time. 20 years ago, people said, why shouldn't people have that same restaurant experience? And so I was lucky I worked at Lanesborough when that was sort of 20 odd years ago, even in a room service, they would do flambe work in the rooms. They would do restaurant service in a room. So when the room service team brought the food to a room, they would dress it as we would in a restaurant. Yeah, but they spent time in the kitchen with us, and then they would go and deliver that. So room service, all the function rooms would have a lot of the same dishes that were on in a restaurant. So that's where my interest came. Yeah. And also, I think the difference between a restaurant chef and a hotel chef is that in a restaurant, a curtain lifts twice a day. Yeah. In a hotel, it's 24 hours. Cooking's cooking. At the end of the day, it's doesn't matter whether it's 1 or 1,000. It's a challenge to make that dish as fresh and balanced in texture, flavour, and delivery of something amazing in front of someone. That's the challenge. Every young chef wants their own restaurant, 30 covers, but you'll die. Within 2 months, your restaurant will be shut. It's not going to happen unless it's a hobby. Yeah. There's not many people who want to work 18, 20 hours a day as a hobby. So we teach them that it's something necessary, and it's an art. It is an art form. Events are an art form, and it starts on a farm. It starts with the farmer, with the fisherman, with the vigneron. Can they get that volume of produce to the same quality as we want for a restaurant table? Yeah. So that all the chefs come out to farms with us. They all come out on boats. They all go on to game shoots, and there we talk about volume, because I think in Galvin restaurants we serve about 40,000 people a month in the restaurants in London. So when we go to a farm, and we buy a lot from France and a lot from Britain. But when you look at a farm and you look at a flock of chickens, beautiful free-range chickens, they ain't going to last long. Yeah. So very often we have to say, well, we'll just use this farm for this restaurant, this farm for that restaurant. So, a very good question. Most young chefs don't want to, or think they don't want to do it. But when you've made a big table happy, or one of our rooms, one of our salon privés, we send a young chef out with the chef to check everyone was okay and had a good time. I think they see the reward that gives. So it's part of our DNA really to make sure we train not just restaurant chefs, but chefs that enjoy and love producing events. Yeah. So it's just important that we teach the guys, if we're cooking for 40 people, can we get our beautiful Cumbrian beef? Can we get 40 beautiful fillets, ribeye? Can we get a certain grade of fish for 40 people that are going to be immaculate? Yeah. And then you can see it. You just get a bit of a sparkle in their eye, and then about how we're going to cook it and deliver it. So, a very good question. Most young chefs don't want to, or think they don't want to do it. But when you've made a big table happy, or one of our rooms, one of our salon privés, we often send a young chef out with the chef to check everyone was okay and had a good time. I think they see the reward that gives. So it's part of our DNA really to make sure we train not just restaurant chefs, but chefs that enjoy and love producing events.